Ladies and gentlemen, stay at home and play more games like Astro Aqua Kitty. Now this is a sequel to a game that I really liked called Aqua Kitty Milk Mine Defender. And this is the sequel. This is set in space, and already you've got fantastic music playing, which I'll get onto in a bit. But yeah, I'm a bit late to this. I should have got this when this came out, but hey, I've recently bought it. I've been playing it. I've got about 4 or 5 hours into it. There are 2 modes in this game. Story and arcade mode. They actually play quite differently. First off, story mode, I'm just going to show you some quick stuff about this game. You have to pick a pilot and an engineer. They're different. In my main campaign, I'm playing as the scout and a defense guy. Basically, you have the heavy guy who's like tough, slow, but extra armor, fast and agile, lower health, who's who I'm playing as, but maybe not the best starting choice. You got Chaos Pilot, smart and unpredictable, very fast energy recharge, suits heavy weapons, and then Fighter, experienced veteran with an aggressive set of skills. For this play, let's go with the heavy, and I got the defense guy, so he's protective stuff. We've got the repairing things. We've got gadgets, good around with an array of technical skills and energy. I think for this we'll go with repair. We'll go with the bunny. We'll go on regular, and then we'll just jump into a. Basically, all you need to know is we're in an asteroid belt. Currently, I don't know if I can skip this. Currently digging through this to get to mines. Now, straight away you're going to see some big differences between this and the original game. Let's get into it. I will come to the music in a bit, don't worry. The music is fan-dabby-dozy in this game, but... So, just like the original game, you are in a little underwater craft, flying around. You have 2 guns. First off, just this one, which you use to fire as your main little gun. You also have, once we get into the main level, you'll see, I've got a secondary gun as well. Open up that, and we're going to equip that, my secondary gun. Poof! Alright, let's go. And so the meat of this game is that each level is bigger than the original. The original was basically kind of like a joust, a defender style type of game, very arcade heavy. You can buy upgrades here, which is also good. So we should get maximum health there. We've got extra armor, which is cool. We've got extra different types of guns. And later on you can upgrade your ships as well. So already you've got some RPG elements. In the original game, you pretty much just had to take on more and more difficult levels. In this game, however, you have experience, you level up, you have skills that you can unlock on each character. Some being active, some being passive. You can only have 4 of these equipped at any one time. And essentially each character has different stuff. Like you see energy blades that create spinning blade beams which damage enemies. On my scout, I don't have that ability. So they have different ones, and we have improved repair there, instant repair, things like that. So plenty of stuff to do there. And with the shop there at the bottom, you can see that there are levels up for certain. You have to be certain levels to use certain weapons. And on top of that, there are quite a few different weapons. So we're just going to stick with what I've got for now. I've got 112 gems. I could buy extra armor and things like that, but we'll just get into it. Let's just hit the save there, and let's go. And this is very different in the sense that these levels, if I bring up the map, these levels are quite big. It's you have to do multiple missions in these levels to unlock stuff, level up, and then you move on. So we've got to help these dudes out. You've got to go clear a path. So we're going to go and clear a path. And now I also have this gun attached, which does a lot more damage. There we go. Open up, and out we go into the world. What do you want? My batteries were stolen, so now we have to go find this guy some batteries. And now we actually get to see the combat. And unlike the original where it was just sort of left and right, you have like full-on caves to explore here. You have tons and tons of different enemies. A lot of these, not all of them, but there are a bunch of enemies here that are from the original game, repurposed. All the enemies have different attack patterns, which is really cool. And this game gets hard. This game gets very hard. And what I didn't realize is that no matter how powered up you think you got on the last level, no matter how much of a badass you feel, when you get to the next level, it's all the same again. The game has a very specific loop. You'll level up so you can get like the good quality weapons. You'll then start to feel very overpowered, And when you hit the next level, you realize you got to do that process again because they add in a bunch of new enemies. They that have a higher amount of health, different attack patterns. The game pulls no punches, let me tell you that. This game is hard. It might not seem it right now, but I have done this level. But yeah. Pew! One-shot things with that gun. But I think by the time you finish this level, you want to be like level 4, level 5, really going on to the next one. And you can see, right, on the top left, you've got health, then you've got energy, and then you've got your, underneath that, the third bar being the XP bar that you get. And I get 5 XP for killing dudes like that. XP varies depending on who you're fighting. You need some pilots. So, take this battery in this direction. So I suppose we should just probably talk about the music, because in the first game, the music was done by Electric Cafe. The music is again done by Electric Cafe here. And let me tell you, this soundtrack is phenomenal. Now, the only downside is that there's only one piece of music per level, and it'll only change if you come across a boss, which is, you know, unfortunate. Oh, we found all the batteries. There we go. Now we can go up and down. We're going to go up. Crabs have infested the hangar. Help him out. But yeah, I'm just going to shut up for a minute while I'm helping out kill these crabs so you guys can hear the music, really. Enjoy. So hopefully you can hear how fantastic this track, this music is. So far, all the songs I've heard are really good. I've got to like level 4, I think, is what I'm on in the main campaign of this. I'm just really blown away by how catchy the music is, especially because I've got it set to like max volume, and I loved the first soundtrack so much that it really adds to the game. It really makes this game feel epic. Like moving around in this little submarine, blowing things up with really good synthwave playing. Now, interesting enough, it's definitely got a combination, whereas the first soundtrack was pretty much kind of like chiptune and then different styles of chiptune, I guess, like more like rocky ones and then like some more dancey tracks and stuff, but generally just chiptune. This game is using more like a synthwave style. Oh yeah, these blow up in... yeah, using more of a synthwave style, but incorporating samples from the Super Nintendo and the Amiga. The only reason I know that is because I believe on the website for Electric Cafe it says that they are using specifically those samples for it. But yeah, it's just an impressive soundtrack. These guys, I've only heard the Aqua Kitty stuff. I've not heard any of the other games they've done. But all I can say is I am mighty impressed. And it makes for this experience to be so enjoyable. So now we've dealt with the crabs, we're going to head down. We got one dude. We're going to head down here. We've got some... let's mix things up. Well, let's have a look at... We leveled up? No. Can I unlock any of these? No. But we can get stuff in the shop. But it's all level 2. So we need to get level 2, really. And then I can... Coffee machine reduces all skill cooldowns. Well, currently I don't have that. Let's see if I can get a level up somewhere. And then we can actually... Oops. Show off some of that. There you go. There's a bit of a harder enemy here. You can see... So the levels are kind of gated. So that now down here it's just harder enemies to kill. Or you'll meet different new enemies and things like that. And that's where it starts to get... Hello. I hope there's still milk. No milk pump here. Gem mining. And these milk pumps are references to the first game. Where you're trying to mine milk. There's a gem there. You do get a lot of money in this game quite quickly. There we go, we've got 2 pilots now, so we can now drill through. Still got to try and level up before I go and do the boss, because I believe the boss is after the drill through. As you can see, this game starts to get pretty nuts quite quickly. Look how many enemies are on screen, bullets you have to avoid. Now, it doesn't necessarily feel like it gets unfair, because you can run into the enemies. They don't seem to hurt you, especially these basic ones. You just have to avoid the bullets that come out, which is fairly straightforward to do. But it does get pretty manic, and there are enemy types later on that that fire a lot more shots and can be quite difficult to avoid, but it's kind of part of it. It is a bullet hell style game with RPG elements, I guess is a good way to describe it. But you do have free movement. You're not just going left and right. You can go up and down. You do get, once you level up, you start to unlock abilities that can help you deal with bullets. Like, for example, if you take the duck, he gets, I think it's the duck. It gives you the ability to fire out an anti-bullet ring, and it just destroys all the bullets that are inside that get hit by the ring, which is very powerful. There we go, we've leveled up. So now we have to go to a beacon. So I'm now leveled up. So we're going to go find a beacon quickly. Oh, there's also a crate there, so I should probably get that. And hopefully not die in the process. Let's just deal with some of these enemies. Make it a little bit easier to go in here. So these things just take a lot of shots. Once you blow them up. We've got a repair droid. Fantastic. Very useful ability. Anyway, let's go back up to one of these docks. And he's telling me about spending gems to level up. So you've got the ship upgrades on the right there, and you also get a skill point, which is what I'll show off now. So look, let's have a look. We've got the energy blades. We've got the increase the armor. So the energy blade is active, armor is passive. We've got cluster bomb, tiny bomblets. Sounds pretty good actually. Close combat, damage inflicted is increased by 25 when the enemy is near. So that's actually really powerful. And repel bubble, large bubble that repels enemies. And if we look at the bunny, the engineer, we've got increased health regen, instant health replenishment, which that is very powerful. It's got a long cooldown, but that is a very powerful ability. It causes energy pickups to also boost health regen. So she's all about healing. Health regen 0, you auto regain some. Nice. Consumes energy to reach ship. So this bunny rabbit is probably the best person to start with. You have a lot of survivability. I want to go with the cluster bomb, so we're going to do that. We're going to assign the cluster bomb to the Y button. So now when I do this, woo! That's what the cluster bomb does. Now you can see in the bottom left, it now has a cooldown counter. So let's just go back to the shop. We've got 300 gems. We're going to spend one on health, armor, and energy. I can't buy any new upgrades, but what I can do is I have 4 device slots. And you can see that underneath where it says plasma gun, plasma cannon. Underneath devices, I can now install a long life bot, so increases skill bots, timers, and health. So we'll equip that. And a faster health regen, we'll equip that. You can get things like the coffee machine, which reduces cooldowns, which would be pretty useful now. There's the target analyzer, increases damage and crit chance. That's actually really powerful. And the guns we've got here, we've got the sonic gun. Very good weapon, I think. Hits multiple enemies, travels through enemies. Very useful on some of the later bosses. And then we've got the plasma repeater. Some of the guns feel very specific, and I'm not sure I'm the biggest fan of them. But, you know, that's just my personal preference. I think each gun probably has its place. Right, let's get these guys in here. Now we have to use this little quest. We have to stay behind the drill and dig through. I'm hoping to try and get to the boss of this first world before we end this video, just to show you kind of like sort of the idea of what each level's going for. There are quests that I actually missed the first time around doing it, but there are multiple quests on each level. You don't have to do all of them. You just have to basically get towards where the boss is. But yeah, it's cool. You have multiple quests you can do. This, like for example, this person's working on a walker. I didn't do this on my thing. I didn't realize that was a thing. It just kind of it gives you XP, I think. Things like that. Oh yes, with dead husks. Oh, that's why I didn't read it properly. So you can do this. You can help her out. Get the dead husks. You can open up, whoops, go up here and deal with these robots. But this is what I like about this game. Like, this game's got, it's the perfect sequel to a formula that worked really well the first time. The first game is very arcade-like, right? So, let's go and see what the other direction was, because I'd like to show off a boss, ideally. See if we can do that. Oh, it's getting dark down here. And you can see that these areas get pretty bonkers. Let's deal with these fools. Luckily, they don't do too much damage. But an area like this on the next level, oh man, it's just crazy. Plenty of money down here as well. Oh, something's got torpedoes. Now, torpedoes are a lot of fun when you've got them. They're not too hard to avoid to start with, but they can be quite annoying to deal with. But they are a cool weapon type. So, this is the boss that opens up to the final level. Sorry, boss opens up. This is the final boss of this area. So most levels I've done so far end with you taking out a boss of some kind. And you can see the music. This is where the music changes when the boss comes into play. Let's do this. It's going to be more powerful. I can tell you right now, if you don't spend time upgrading your weapons and leveling up, it does make these boss fights pretty difficult. If I have one tiny criticism of this game, I would say that I think sometimes the bosses feel like they have too much health. But I think that can also come down to your own level and weapons, and if you've got the right weapons for the job, it's not too bad. Those kind of attacks, you can see this is way more bullet helly now. You can hide behind stuff though. This boss is quite fair because you can just hide behind things. There are little enemies about and stuff, but they're not too, like, that kind of attack. You can already see how much more damage this boss does. Why it's worth getting, like, the health upgrades and things. Trying to get on this side of it. Now each boss has, like, phases as well. So you'll see that the boss... Now, I do have the health regen, so if I really want to, I can just sit here and let my health go back, but it will go up slowly. So you can see it's going up in the top corner. But that's no fun. We've got to live dangerously, so... I'm not going to pretend I'm particularly great at these kind of games, because I'm not. And you can see I'm getting hit way too much. But that's kind of part of the charm. Now, I don't think... There was one boss I did later on that I felt was a little bit tough and required a lot of timing and stuff, but most of the boss fights you can kind of just run away and hide so far. The ones I've come across, there's always places for you to go where you can't get hit usually, which does help. Makes a big difference because it does mean as long as you've got a repair drone attached, you can kind of just, you know, avoid getting hit by stuff. Have I still got guns to deal with on this thing? Oh, there are guns there. Okay. Yeah, so I had a feeling I was going to die then anyway. That gives you an idea of what the story mode's like. The story mode is very much these big maps that you go around, you do quests, you level up. Show off the arcade mode. I am really bad at this so far, but the arcade mode is very different. This is a very much like what you'd expect from like an old game like Parodius or Xavius or something like that back in the day. He becomes an auto-scroller. You shoot enemies, you build up I don't know if it's a score, but you take out the enemies, you get different types of guns to use. Music's also fantastic as well. And I really have to say, like, if the music wasn't as good, like, in this game, I don't know if I'd enjoy it as much, but it doesn't mean that the game's bad by any means. I think this game is, like I said, a really good example of how to expand on a formula that worked. And I think these guys have done a really good job of making a sequel that feels like a really good sequel that takes it in the right direction. And I hope that in the future we get more games in this series, in this franchise, because the first game I really like. This I'm really enjoying. This is just really, really fun. Give me that cat. And you'll see in this arcade mode, so at the top there I have health. I can only take so many hits. And yeah, because of that, you have to try and beat the levels while taking so many hits. Here's the double. This is an interesting weapon, actually. I'm not sure quite how it works, but I wish I had a better idea. I'm probably going to die again, but that's okay. Like, I just want to show off the game. What I really want people to do is actually go and support this, man. This game is, like, fantastic. And I got killed by something I didn't even realize it was there. Hopefully, this has been a good showing of what to expect of this game. There are different modes of this. Just a really good game. Like, just the sort of thing you'd expect and want to play from it. Like I said, a sequel of this. I can't recommend this enough. This game is super fun. So, like, if you want to play like a arcadey style adventure mode with some light RPG elements, and you really like the first game and the bullet hell style of things, go out and buy this game. I think this is going to be, I think this is on PC. I'm playing this on Switch. I'm pretty sure it's on other platforms as well. The first game is also really, really fun, but the first game is much more of an arcade game than it is like with the minor RPG elements. Anyway, thank you very much for watching as always. I hope you enjoyed this video. I really, really like doing this. If you like the video, hit like. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe down below. Facebook and Twitter links will be down below in the description. And until next time, mine some more milk or rocks or gems in Astro Aqua Kitty. I'll see you then.